What is going on, guys and girls? Welcome back to TV and Me. I'm of course Kevin, and it's time again for the Walking Dead weekend. Yes, it is time for your weekly dose of walkers, misery, blood, guts, death, and a little sprinkle of happiness in there to keep us satisfied, you know, everything a growing boy needs. So let's dive into a really quick recap of last episode. Last episode was actually probably my most favourite episode of the entire series, and I'm sure it's loads of yours as well, because a lot of you said in the comment section that it is probably your highest rated up to date in terms of, you know, single episodes. So, you know, it didn't disappoint. It was one that we saw a whole host of emotions in, especially from me, but we had happiness with Glenn finally getting back with Maggie, you know, after almost dying again. We had the Alexandrians becoming part of Team Fam, Rick recognising them as that, and them all fighting off the walkers out of Alexandria, which was a really cool moment. I never thought they'd be able to fight off that many walkers, but through teamwork, through Daryl and Sasha and Abraham getting back just in time with the fuel truck, that whole combination came together to make it such a stunning episode. And, you know, it was wholly satisfying in the fact that we had the misery halfway through, what with Jesse dying, which I was sad to see, with Sam dying, which I was sad to see, with Michonne killing Ron in the spur of the moment, which I never really talked about, but Michonne was badass for doing that. You know, she didn't hesitate. She recognised the danger and she stabbed him. I mean, she could have pushed him over or something, but she decided not to. She decided just to stab him, get rid of the threat. So I guess they were surrounded by walkers, so she didn't really have time to think about it. But unfortunately, he did get one bullet off, which was apparently aimed at Rick, but it clipped Carl, hit him in the eye or grazed him across the eye. I think I saw one of you say that it ricocheted off his cheekbone and went into his eye, or went past his eye, just scraped past it, didn't actually go into it. So I hope he survives. I hope he pulls through, because at the end there we did see his hand move, and I'm wondering whether he's a walker or he has recovered. I'm hoping that he's recovered, but if he's a walker, then I've had this past week to prepare myself for that, so fingers crossed it isn't, but you know, I'm expecting the worst. One thing I do want to touch on as well from last episode was the whole Wolf situation, and the fact that it seemed like Morgan had probably got through to him, and you know, Carol came out of nowhere and shot him, which, you know, from her point of view was the right thing, because she didn't know he would sort of semi-redeemed himself. Now, I say semi-redeemed because we don't know his motivation for saving Denise. I mean, one of my patrons brought up the fact that maybe he was only saving Denise because he liked her. We saw when they were behind that wall, hiding from the walkers, he was looking at her with sort of like googly eyes, sort of, you know, it seemed like he was attracted to her and he was feeling something for her. And that could stem from the fact that when he did go to stab her inside that room, she said, "You're full of bullshit," or something to that. She actually stood up to him, and he might have respected that. And the fact that his entire wolf crew had been taken out, maybe he was protecting Denise because he knows he needs allies now, because he is alone. And if Denise would die, then he would be on his own again. What I'm trying to say is that maybe he was doing it for selfish reasons. He wasn't doing it because he suddenly made this miracle turnaround 180 where now he cares and he cares for people, but maybe he was doing it because he knew he was alone, because he liked Denise, and you know, he just wanted company beyond the wall. Who knows? I don't, that's for sure. I mean, I've gone over this Morgan situation so many times, but I feel like my stance on the whole situation doesn't change. If Morgan wants to do what he does, that is perfectly fine with me. He's either got to go away and do it on his own, or go with like-minded people, or they need to get some sort of really secure facility inside Alexandria where Morgan can work with these individuals. But apart from that, locking him in some semi, you know, fortified room just for him to escape later really isn't a good plan. They need to, like I say, get a prison, get somewhere seriously secure, and treat him the proper way. And even then, I don't know if that would work, because Morgan isn't a trained psychiatrist. But let's just dive into this episode. I want to see what the fallout from last episode was. Is Carl okay? Can they rebuild the wall at Alexandria? Are the friends of I can't remember what they were called, those bikers, I'll just call them bikers for now, who said they knew Negan, is Negan and his men going to come looking for these biker friends? Are they going to trace them back to Alexandria? I don't know, but let's find out. Let's get into this episode. This is Season 6, Episode 10. So he didn't die. Thank fuck.
Do you have any toothpaste left?
No. Because someone's been borrowing it every day for 2 weeks.
So somebody actually told me this is based 2 months after the last episode. So they must have fixed the wall and everything.
You'd be good out there.
Yeah, we'll see. Today's the day. Gonna find food, maybe some people. Law of averages, gotta catch up.
Maybe ain't gonna find nobody. Maybe that's a good thing.
Or maybe they're going to find that Negan.
Don't. Please don't.
Give me the downbeat, Mastro. I want to lay it on the line. Because everything I do, I want to do it in double time. When I take a ride in my car, it's gotta be action packed. Hear me? Action packed.
Yeah, we good. One more time.
They ain't locked.
You know what happened last time with one of these? Full of bloody walkers. Jackpot.
Grab our gear, come back for the car later. Take another way back. See what we can see.
Any trouble?
Hi. I was just running from the dead.
How many?
10, maybe more. I'm not risking it. Once it gets to double digits, I start running.
Thanks for letting us know.
Jog on, mate.
There's more of them than us, right? Gotta stick together. You have a camp?
I don't trust him.
Do you?
No. Sorry for running into you. I'm gonna go now. This is the next world. I hope it's good to you guys.
I'm Rick. This is Daryl. What's your name?
Paul Robia. But my friends used to call me Jesus. Your pick.
You said you didn't have a camp. You on your own?
Yeah. But still, best not to try anything.
Best not to make threats you can't keep either.
Exactly.
Oh, snap.
How many walkers?
Not this guy.
How many walkers have you killed?
Sorry, gotta run. You should too. Think you got about 7 minutes.
He was clean. His beard was trimmed. There's more going on there. Track him, watch him for a while, get to know more, see if he's really alone. Maybe bring him back.
Nah. Guy calls himself Jesus.
Is this a fucking trap? I feel like every time we meet someone, it's a trap.
Firecrackers.
Distraction.
Shit.
Truck.
He slapped your keys, didn't he?
Shit.
Sorry.
Shit.
I've got to hand it to him. That was well played.
I got it.
You think I couldn't get it?
You could have. I have a sword.
I'm gonna keep walking now.
I'm gonna come with you.
It's okay.
Your mom told me I had to figure out what I want.
Have you?
I'm working up to it. Right now, I just want to find out why her son's wandering around the woods with a shovel.
What is he up to? Is he burying the dead? Oh, fuck's sake. Are these two out beyond the wall again? He's only got one eye, for fuck's sake.
I don't want to come out here anymore.
Okay.
Carl.
Sean's out here. I'm not leaving it.
No,
Hey, come on.
we should kill it.
Go home.
No.
Enid.
This is bullshit. It should be dead. Let go.
Just leave.
Not the fucking time. Oh shit. I just saw the hair.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Was that Deanna?
You wouldn't understand. You don't want to be out here. You said it. So go home. Hold still, and maybe we won't hurt you. This is done.
Holy shit. That guy can fight.
You're really gonna do that?
The nuts aren't that tight. You should be able to get free after we're long gone.
Maybe we should talk now.
Nah. Here. In case you get thirsty.
Just shake it up to be an arsehole. Nice one. I get the feeling this isn't going to be the last we see of Jesus.
You prick! You hear that? I think that son of a bitch is on the roof. Hold on.
How the fuck? He really is Jesus. He just fucking appears out of nowhere. I've got some respect for this guy. He's pretty good. Fuck.
Thanks. It's my gun. Come here.
Oh fuck, they're gonna lose it all, ain't they?
Law of averages. Some bullshit, man. What about him?
Oh, he helped you.
Fine. Let's put him up a tree. You've got a life back there. And maybe I will too, but before I can even think about that, I need to take care of something.
Yeah, it's her, innit?
She left me a note. She said, I still knew my way. I never knew my way.
You loved your family?
Yeah,
Then you know your way.
they're gone.
I've been out here chasing you all over the woods. You still got family. You still got a home. I saw what you did with Deanna. You could have killed her.
No, I couldn't. I
Were you
wouldn't.
playing some sort of game out there? Did you think that?
No.
Then why?
Because it should be someone who loved her, someone who's family, and I'd do it for you.
Me too.
So he's down in that semi-fortified room again. They really need to improve that place.
We'll see. Got you something.
Is this instead of the toothpaste?
Mm-hmm. Well, I do have a crate of toothpaste for you. It's currently at the bottom of a lake.
Oh, so you had a day.
Yeah. Have your meds.
I did not see that coming. Well, well, well.
Rick. Rick, wake up.
What the fuck? That fucking stupid jail cell. So there we have it, episode 10, and I'm going to start this review off by saying they really need a new jail cell. That's 2 people that have been locked up in there and 2 people that have escaped. They need to learn their lesson, and they need to sort something out sharpish. They need to get some metal, they need to get some bars, and they need to actually make a proper jail cell, because that place really isn't secure. So before I talk about this new Jesus character, I should probably talk about Michonne and Rick hooking up. I never in a million years saw that coming, because I almost felt like they had a brother and sister type relationship where, you know, they rely on one another, you know, they're each other's counterbalance. But the more I think about it, you know, the more I realise they probably are the best person for each other, because, again, they're each other's counterbalance. But also, if you fall in love with someone in this world, you really want that person to be a survivor. You want them to be someone that, despite what is thrown at them, they seem to have a knack of getting out that situation. And we've seen from Michonne and we've seen from Rick that they're capable of that. They're survivors. And with them 2 being together, maybe that is the perfect relationship in this Walking Dead world. My only issue is it going to complicate things between them both? Because we all know the reason you don't date work colleagues is because it will complicate things if something goes wrong. And if Rick and Michonne have a disagreement about something, there's going to be that extra level of tension because, you know, they're intimate with one another. I hope that doesn't happen, but, you know, relationships have a habit of complicating stuff that doesn't need to be so complicated. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm sort of happy that they're together because I feel like they're 2 strong characters that could really work together in this world. But at the same time, I'm worried that in the long run, it could cause them to fall out when they didn't necessarily need to. Moving away from that though, let's talk about this Jesus character and how I feel about him. Because I've got to be honest, I was impressed with him in this episode in terms of being able to fight, in terms of being able to outsmart Rick and Daryl. The fact that when they thought they got rid of him, he'd somehow climbed on top of the truck, you know, and even then, you know, he was dodging the van, dodging Daryl, managed to get back in the truck and get a gun. So, and even saved Daryl's life at one point by shooting that Walker. So I was impressed with him in that sense. But I have this nagging feeling, and I always do because this show makes me suspicious of everyone, but I feel like there's more to him than meets the eye. I feel like even though, you know, he escaped from that little cell and he went to Rick's room and he didn't take his gun away from him. He could have while he was asleep. He left it there and he even woke Rick up and, he gave Rick the opportunity to get the gun and put it on him when he could have easily killed him in his sleep, but he didn't. And the reason I think he's done that is because of those final words, "We need to talk." Now, the only person beyond the wall that we know of at the moment is this Negan character. And Daryl recently killed a load of his henchmen, so obviously he's trying to find out who's done that. And maybe this Jesus character is some sort of decoy for that group, for Negan's group, where he's hanging about the area where these bikers were killed or, you know, in the general vicinity. And they were hoping that they would bump into the characters that killed his men. So my thought is, did this Jesus character deliberately get caught and, you know, plan to get taken back to Alexandria just so he could find out where Rick is from, where they live, and then he can, like, hold the town hostage because they know the location. So, you know, if he is working for Negan, he can say, give us X amount of supplies, you know, give us this, give us that. We can take basically whatever we want. Otherwise, we will destroy your home. This is how it's going to work. Or maybe he's going to say, you are going to let my people, Negan's people, come into Alexandria and take over. Otherwise, we'll just destroy you and destroy this place. You've got no choice. I mean, that's the only reason I can see him breaking out the cell and not escaping or, you know, not attempting to hurt anyone. And at the end they're saying, we need to talk. I feel like he is that negotiator, and I think there's only going to be bad things coming from him being taken back to Alexandria. If that is the case, it especially sucks as well, because in this episode we saw Rick finally coming round to the idea that maybe not everyone is bad. You know, that we probably can go out and find people and bring them back and make them a successful part of Alexandria. But the first time he does that and he gets this hope again, if this Jesus character does turn out to be a bad guy and working for Negan and wanting to take over Alexandria, then there goes Rick's hope again, because the second he trusts and he has that hope, it gets cruelly snatched away again. And that would just be awful if that's the case, because I love seeing Rick this way. I love seeing him with that piece of hope, that hope that Alexandria can be a place, and hope in humanity again, and not seeing the worst in humanity. Speaking of Rick having hope as well, I had hope in the fact that Carl was alive and he hadn't turned into a walker, and luckily right at the beginning of the episode we were shown that he wasn't. Now he's only got one eye. I don't know if that's a permanent issue, whether, you know, it grazed his eye and it's going to heal. I doubt it. I don't think your eye heals like that. I'm not a doctor, so don't pull me up on that. Just let me know if that his eye does heal or not. But if his eye doesn't heal, that means he's more susceptible to attack, because, you know, he's not going to see stuff coming from his right side, which makes him going out into the woods with Enid even more silly, because, you know, he's at a bigger disadvantage now and they could sneak up upon him easier. I mean, even Enid in this episode, we saw that she doesn't want to go out into the woods no more. And I think that's because, you know, what went down with the walkers in Alexandria. She saw what happened there. And her whole road trip with Glenn and the words of wisdom he passed on to her about, you know, staying alive and living on with the memory of the people you cared for. And maybe she's deciding that she no longer wants to put herself at risk. But Cole's the opposite. He seems like he does want to put himself at risk still. I don't know, maybe he just gets a bit of cabin fever being stuck in Alexandria behind the walls, and is so used to living outside the walls that he's still adapting. But he has to learn that every time he goes out beyond that wall, that he's just putting his life unnecessarily in danger. I do appreciate what he did in this episode, though, concerning Deanna. You know, that was sad seeing her turned into a walker, but I did suspect it. I suspected that we would see her at some point as a walker, but I thought it would be when we saw the walkers all pouring into Alexandria. I thought she'd be amongst the crowd, but it didn't turn out that way. She must have got out beyond the wall at some point. But I appreciate Cole leading her back and saying that it should have been a member of her family that did it, you know. Even though it was a little bit dangerous, I understand why he did it. I think it was the right call, and the fact it was Spencer that killed Deanna was the right move. I just hope that now Spencer's moved past his reckless behaviour, you know, concerning raiding the pantry for himself, concerning trying to climb the wall without consulting anyone. I hope Spencer can be the best kind of survivor in this world he can be, and stop with the stupid decisions and become a part of Team Fam. I mean, Rick's accepted them all as part of Team Fam. Let's just hope they're able to live up to that task. But that was about it. I guess the main gist of this episode was all about this Jesus character and what is he up to. Like I say, I feel like he's a spy, some sort of negotiator, and he's going to be holding Alexandria hostage. And he works for this Negan character. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I could be way off target with that, and he could just be proving to Rick that, you know, you're asleep, you had your gun, I didn't take it, I didn't kill you, I am trustworthy. And he's just trying to get in with the people of Alexandria to show that he can be a good person for the group. I don't know, but the fact that even Rick said in this episode that he was clean shaven, or his beard had been trimmed, sorry, and he was clean. He's obviously got some sort of camp somewhere with water, somewhere with food, and I feel like that could be Negan's camp. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching, I really appreciate it, and until then, bye-bye. Thank you for watching The Walking Dead Weekend with me. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up because it helps me and it helps the channel grow. Also, if you've got any thoughts or theories about the episode, remember you can leave them in the comments section below. But please, no spoilers. If you'd like to support me even more than you do now, you can find me on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month you can take part in Patreon polls or even get early access to my videos. And finally, if you want to keep up to date with the channel, you can find me on Twitter at TVandMeReacts, or you can subscribe.